Hey everyone, so this is day 3 of the van build now, and as you can probably tell by the surrounds, we're in somewhere different than home. So I'm actually at now the in-laws place, which is on a sort of big estate, so I've got a bit more room, and as you can see I've got a bit of cover, I've got tools, I've got a workbench, all this sort of stuff which you'll see along the way. So I can now start to get really on with this, start cracking. We're on January the 10th, I think, or on 9th. And so the first step that I'll be doing is the Maxx Air Fan installation. So what I'm going to be doing today is just sizing everything up, drawing it all, and then hopefully starting to drill and cut out the hole in the roof, depending on the weather and the temperature of the van, which at the moment is sort of in the mid-30s. So we'll see how things go, and I'll show you how things go along the way. Okay, so this is the Maxx Air Fan that I'm going to be using. It's a very popular one in RV and camper van conversions. So it comes with a remote, so it can be pushed up and down using the electric. It can also be used whether it's rain or sun. So this here will make sure that no water gets inside, thanks to the design. You can see here, so this top part is essentially the fan part, and then there are a couple of different layers here that will be fixed to the van. So this will be underneath, and that's what we'll see inside. This here will go on the top, and then the whole thing just slots in and gets bolted together. So the next thing is to read the instructions and then start measuring, and measuring 20 times before I start cutting into the van. What I've done is marked out sort of, I guess, roughish size for the hole on the inside, so that I can work out where the centre should be, give or take. And I'm going to drill a hole through that, and then I'm going to measure things accurately on the top side before obviously I cut into anything. But this just gives me a nice centre point to work from on the top, as opposed to just obviously trying to guess where the middle of the van is. So I guess this is the first hole. Provided I can get through with this drill bit. So I should have some glasses on. Let me see if we can find any glasses. We couldn't find any. So this is what we're going to work with, hopefully. There we go. Hole in roof. Done. Not going back now. Okay, so here we are on top of the van. So as I mentioned earlier, it is a hot day in Victoria, very rare and very enjoyable. So it's something like 30 something degrees. So the roof of the van is a little warm. Even the like putty and silicone that is holding the van together is softening up inside. It's that hot. So I'm on top. Now normally there is a shoes off policy on roofs. A lot of people adhere to this on the top of the van. I'm not sure why. No one sees the van, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, in light of this, what I've done is I put some boards down, as you can see here. I'm on top of the boards, just so I'm not stood on there, but I'm not taking my shoes off because my feet will burn. So that's how I've got around that. So as you can see here, there is our first hole. Okay, so that's our starting point. So next thing to do is to measure it all up, like I say. Then I'm going to check it 1,000 times before I then drilled the corners of it so I can get the jigsaw in, and then here we go. And we'll start to cut it in and hope for the best, really. So here we go. Okay, so here we are, moment of truth. So as you can see, I've measured it all up and masking taped it around the edges, helps it to protect the van. I have the jigsaw. So the next thing to do is to use just a circular drill bit so that I can get the corners, and then that way I can get the jigsaw into the corners to then cut the square out. Underneath I have put the fan box and attached it to the roof so that it can catch all of the metal shards that come off. And then obviously after I've cut this hole out, I'll file it down and make sure I get rid of all the excess metal that's come away, blow it away, just so that it doesn't cause any scratches and therefore rust later on. So wish me luck on this. Okay, so unfortunately the video didn't work, so I've just picked it up and it wasn't recording, which is annoying, obviously. However, we have a hole in the roof. So there's times, but now's the time to go get the old phalange and see if it fits. And the box just fell. Probably didn't help the metal shavings, so probably have to clean all that up. Anyway, let's see how we go. So it's only gone and bloody fit first time. I mean, come on, look at this. Oh, beautiful. beautiful. So, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna just obviously tidy it up. I've got to just file it all down now. I've got to protect it. Obviously the metal now is exposed, so I've got some rust protector. But really happy with that, considering it's first time as well. So there we go. There we go. Push that in a little bit. There it is. So now that means tomorrow I can start to seal it up and really get this thing going. Very exciting stuff. Okay, so here we are, end of day one of the fan installation, end of day three of the build, I guess. And we have a hole. We have a hole in the roof, and it fits, which is amazing. So, really happy with that. So it's the end of the day now, so I'm going to head back, and then tomorrow come back here. Morning everyone, so we're on day 2 of the fan installation, so day 4 now of the actual build itself. Back up at the in-laws estate today to carry on with the van. Another glorious day in Melbourne. It's going to be mid-30s again today, I believe, so got the hat this time rather than the hard hat from yesterday. Sun lotioned up and hopefully going to crack on with this fan. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so filing is done. So now it's all smooth. There's no sharp edges. Any sort of build up of rust overnight or anything like that is gone now through oxidization. So next step now is just to put some rust proof on it just to protect it and make sure it doesn't rust like while the fan's in there and stuff in the future. So that's just standard rust guard, quick dry. In this way it's going to be super quick.
Just available at all good Bunnings. All other DIY shops are available. So just gonna let that dry now, have a bit of lunch, and then afterwards gonna look to build the frame so that when we put the fan in and the surround for it, I can bind it into something as opposed to the 2 mils, 1 mil of steel that is the van roof. So yeah, so instead of just screwing through, it's gonna have something to grip onto. So yeah, I'll see you on the other side. The roof's hot.
So it fits, that's fine, the frame is ready. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill these holes all the way around, so just so that when I'm trying to screw the actual screws in, I'm not having to fight through the metal as well, just so it makes your life a bit easier. Now the only little thing, which I guess is a bit annoying, is that this groove here of the van is stopping this surround from touching flushly to the top of the van, so it creates, as you can probably hear, it creates this rocky motion. But it's not much of a problem because I've got what's called butyl tape, so it's basically like a putty, and so what I'm going to do, that's a waterproofing sort of putty, so I basically line the underneath here, and what I'll do is I'll bring it up to this point here so that that is flat, and this will all be the same height underneath with the putty. Once I've done that, I'll then use Sikaflex to stick it down as well and create an extra seal, and then screw everything in, and then I can use the tape on top. So I'll run you through all that stuff from inside the van where it's less warm. Okay, so I'm at the point now, I've drilled the holes to go around the surround. I've also then put the rust-proof paint on those as well, just to be sure, just to protect them. Obviously don't want those to rust and cause any issues in the future. So next stage is to build up the butyl tape around the edges, because there's that little one at the back, and then also down one of the sides it slightly touches one of the grooves of the van. So again, it'll just bring it up to the same level anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So for that, the butyl tape that I'm talking about is this stuff. So you can buy reels of it like this, and it's essentially just like a putty, a long reel of putty basically that you'd use Play-Doh in school, and you just build it up. So I'll go around it all, see how much I've got really. Hopefully there's enough to build up 2 or 3 layers, and that'll then give me the level that I'm after. Then I'm going to use this, which is Sikaflex 291, which is a marine grade Sikaflex. God knows really what the difference is between them all, but apparently this is made specifically for maritime stuff, which means it can move with plastic and move with materials. So obviously that little bit of movement that you find in things like obviously boats, but also in the van, means it's not going to crack. So once it's set, it's not going to then break at any point. Hopefully it should just have a little bit of give and keep that waterproof seal. So that's going to go underneath the edge. So I've got this around here, so I'm going to essentially put that all the way around here and then push that down onto that tape, and that will then create a seal, and then screw down into all of these holes, which will go into the van. And then after that I'll use what's called extra bond tape, which is apparently really good for sealing watertight, used on roofs, gutters, all sorts. So this will keep things watertight. So a lot of people will put the screws in and then put the silicone on top of that. A lot of times I've seen it, it's quite a messy looking job. It doesn't look very neat. I know you don't see it, but still I want it to be nice and neat. So I'm going to use this tape, and that will just give us a nice clean sort of seal on it really, as opposed to just blobs of silicone everywhere. So to do that I'm going to need Rochelle's help as well, because I haven't got my clamps. My clamps stuck at the post office and they're all closed. So I need her to essentially hold up the frame whilst I drill down, and hopefully that'll bite into the wood while she's pushing. But we'll see, because she's short and she has small arms. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, let's see how we go. Okay, so this is where we're up to. So the surround is actually in, which is great. Fits snug. So I've got the tape in, as I showed you before, and then I silicone underneath this surround and then push that all down. So I've kind of created this layer now, and it's squished out the sides, and also it's squished a bit underneath, which is good as well. So you can see there all the way around it's got a nice little edge to it. Okay, so that's the end for today. Like I say, I'm going to let it all dry, come back in a couple of days and hopefully finish off. Shame I couldn't get it all done this weekend, but you got to let it dry. Yeah, so like I say, end of the weekend, so I'll be back in a couple of days to hopefully finish this off, so fingers crossed. Okay, so here we are on day 3 of the fan install. Tuesday evening, come up after work just to try and get a bit more of this done. So what I'm going to do today, got a few more toys. So I've got some grips, and I've got some other things, but I don't need them right now. But anyway, so what I'm going to be doing is going to Sikaflex the frame up onto the roof, and then use the grips to hopefully hold that in place. And then I'm hoping to drill down into that whilst it's holding. That's the plan. And that way I can screw it down and then get the last seal on, which is the tape, and then I can actually put the fan in and then just secure it in, and then that's it. So we'll see how we go. I'll at least get the frame up, and then we'll see as we go really with the screws. Hey everyone, so okay, we're back again. I think it's day 4 now of this fan install, just due to all the waiting around for everything to set. You got to be done in stages, so what can you do? So today, hopefully this is a sort of 10-minute job now, just to finish simply putting it in, screwing it in, and that is all there is to it. I'm not going to hook it up electrically for a while. I may do some testing in the coming weeks just to make sure it's alright, but really it should be just a case of putting it in place, screwing it in, and that's it. So today as well, what I'm going to start doing is some of the insulation, so putting the van liner into the van and just starting that process. I'm waiting on a few pieces to arrive from shipping in other parts of the country, so while I'm waiting on them, I may as well get on with this. So yeah, so we'll see, hopefully finish this up today and see how we get on with that. Alright, so took a little bit of playing, just because of the brackets on the side didn't quite line up with the holes, but they do now, so I just pulled them up a little bit and then they lined up, and a little bit of pressure from above went in fine. So nothing left to do now other than the unveil. Ta-da! There she is. Right, let's go have a look from underneath. There she is. All snug. You can see. Nice, there's the cables, ready for when we set up the electrical, etc. There you go. So, as you can see, it's kind of placed sort of in the middle of the van. But the thinking behind that was the kitchen area will be just there, and so that'll extract any steam, etc., and any condensation. And then likewise, the seated area is just underneath as well. So if we want it to reverse and push air in, it'll be straight on top of us, hopefully making it nice and cool. So that's one thing done as we go along.